his office. I said, my business is exploding. I don't have any extra hours in the day. And I see these other people with teams. How do I do that? And my manager at the Blue Company goes, well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but there's this book, and he pulled this off of his bookshelf.
That's awesome.
And handed it to me. I went, wow, okay. Because I had seen all these other people that had teams. And so I figured somebody had to know the answer to that question and how to leverage. And I started reading the book, and then I said, wow, this is really cool. And then I ended up speaking with the local team leader at Keller Williams, and they invited me to family reunion. And I went there, and I was the guy that was handing out my business card as I was meeting people. For those of you that have been to a family reunion in person, you know how much energy is there and how awesome it is. And everybody wants to be your best friend. And you're like, if you came from another company, you're like, this is so weird. Everybody's so nice.
It's true. It's very
where
true.
I came from, it was, well, that's my listing presentation. You can't have it. Right. And then I went to family reunion. Everybody's like, yeah, give me your email address. I'll send you my 8x8. Totally. No problem. Whoa, what's going on? Totally threw me for a loop. So I was handing out my business cards to people with my thumb over the logo of my brokerage because I didn't want to have the conversation going, wait, you're not with us? Why aren't you here yet? I didn't want to have that conversation. And it was probably about day 2 where I was speaking with a vendor at the exhibitor hall, and they kind of confirmed what I was experiencing, where they went, we go to all these conferences, and some of them we're okay with them. Some of them we don't enjoy going to. We love the Keller Williams events because the agents here are just different. And that's what kind of put the fork in me and said, okay, I'm ready. Because the conversation was totally different. My broker, my manager, when I told him that I was talking to Keller Williams, said, oh, they'll throw out everything at you but the kitchen sink. They don't have any training. They don't have support. And I went to this event and I'm watching Tony DeCello speak. Like, holy cow, the training here is as good, if not better, than where I was. Everybody speaks the same language, and that was it. Caused me to switch companies. And so it's interesting to look at, had I said no to attending family reunion, I'm just celebrating my 15-year anniversary with Keller Williams.
That's awesome.
Right? And so it's still kind of a joke in my family because I was always the guy that jumped careers every 18 months. And so it's my parents will tease me like, wait, you're still with Keller Williams? Shouldn't you be making a move to something else right now? Right. I look at the journey that I've been on in Keller Williams and I think, good grief, what if I said no to family reunion?
Right.
What if I said I'm too busy for family reunion? Right. I've been an agent at Keller Williams. I've been a team leader at Keller Williams. I've been a general manager at Keller Williams. I now own 3, soon to be 4 market centers in Keller Williams. I'm a MAPS coach. I get to hang out with some of the coolest people in the country. I tell my wife all the time, I could literally fly into any airport in the United States and have a sofa to crash on because of the relationships I built inside Keller Williams.
Absolutely.
Right? And you just look back and you go, one decision changed everything. And that was a decision to go to family reunion. So
totally.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. So Patrick, how many agents are in all of your market centers right now?
Right now, about 650.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, we're working on an aggressive game plan to get us up over 1,000 between our 3.5 offices right now. So here's what's crazy about it too is I bought, so in Sacramento we have where I was a team leader. So I was a team leader in Roseville, California for a while. I did 2 other stints as a team leader someplace else. And in Roseville was the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams. That's kind of my peaked in 2013 Patrick Wood story. Right. And so Roseville's at the north end of Sacramento. You've got Sacramento, and at the bottom end, kind of bookending Sacramento, you've got Elk Grove. And so I bought Elk Grove, 4 years ago now. And during COVID in April and May, I bought the Chico office. And then in October, I bought the Roseville office.
Been a busy guy. Really busy
and
guy.
you just look at it, everybody's kind of pulling back because this craziness of the world, and opportunity still shows up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So tell us a little bit more about family reunion and how it just can't be missed. What's the opportunity there?
Absolutely. So, I'm like, so Steve, you might have to cut me off or ask me some questions, because either way I could go on for hours, or my high D kicks in and I give you a 1-word answer. So
go ahead.
So here's what I tell you. So the family reunion is different. Let's just get the elephant out, we'll address that. It's different. It's digital, it's remote, it's a wholly different experience. And so here's what I would tell you is for those of you that have been to the physical family reunion, you know, sometimes some of the most powerful conversations you have are in the hallways between sessions, right? Going to the bar and having a drink with your friends, grabbing coffee, waiting in the line at Starbucks. Like those are where some of the really cool conversations happen. And so if we're not going to be physically there, and what I'm encouraging all of my agents to do is make sure as you're watching these breakout sessions, as you're watching the general sessions, I would literally have Facebook open at the same time. And I'd be friend requesting anybody that you think is awesome on there.
Great
and
idea.
then I'd be messaging them going, oh my gosh, you absolutely crushed it. That was incredible. What you said about this. John Maxwell says, how can you tell if somebody needs encouragement? They're breathing, right? And so if you're in these sessions and you see somebody that's absolutely just nailing it and it resonates with you, express some gratitude, right? And the reason why I say that is because of these events, I've built some relationships. I've built relationships with people like Chris Suarez, Ben Kinney, Cody Gibson, all these big names in Keller Williams. And when I'm struggling with something, I can literally pick up my phone and call Chris Suarez or Ben Kinney and just chat with them, all because I said, hey, Ben, you absolutely crushed it on stage today. That was awesome. Right? So I'm doing bucket filling and totally authentic. And now I have a relationship so I can pick his brain anytime that I want.
That's awesome.
Totally. Right, so I would just maximize, if we're not going to be there in person, I'd maximize the opportunity to build relationships with these people, because there are going to be people there that are where you want to be. There are going to be people that are on there that are going through what you may be going through right now or what you will be going through. And how great would it be to have those relationships? Because I think just in life, people pigeonhole themselves. And I'll use Keller Williams as an example. They look at their market center and say, I can't find the answers to what I'm looking for inside my market center. We have 160,000 agents. So you got to think more globally on how to find those answers, because at some point, if you're really driven and committed, you might turn out to be the number one, number two, number three agent, or you already are in your market center, right? I guarantee you're not number one, number two, number three in all of Keller Williams. There's always opportunity to grow, right? So building those relationships inside the market center and then inside the region and inside Keller Williams International that's the key to this juice of KW. Like Keller Williams is just a networking company.
Yeah,
that's it, right?
Totally. Very true.
And I'm a high D, low I, so like hanging out and socializing isn't always my thing. But good grief, when I start hanging out with people that are talking my love language, which is building businesses and having fun doing it, I could get going for hours.
And that's kind of exactly what you did, right, Patrick? I mean, since day one, since that first family reunion, you just reached out to more and more people and networked and.
Absolutely. And so think about this. As you continue, so it doesn't matter what, so I'm telling my story. So I hope I'm not projecting too much onto anybody else, right? I just look at it and I go, the more relationships I can build, the more knowledge I can gain to help me on my journey. And also the more relationships I build, if I show up a certain way, the more opportunity I will get.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I just remember and everything, I'll share with you what I did. And some of it may seem overly strategic, but it's 100% authentic. Right. And it's paid back huge dividends. Is building these relationships. Like I remember sending Diana Kokoska text messages and just saying, hey, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for doing this. Here's what's crazy. Think about a family reunion event. And this is just kind of a life lesson, I guess, is you think about something like family reunion. We have, I don't know, for the physical ones, we had 12, 13, 14,000 people go to those, right? So think about how much work goes into putting that on. So after 14,000 people go to family reunion or 10,000 people go to mega camp, how many notes of encouragement do you think the events team at KWRI gets? Right? And so I would send, I would send pizza the week before to the entire events team and just say, hey, thank you guys for putting on such an amazing event for my agents. And then after it was all done, I'd send cookies and milk and say, hey, thank you guys. You absolutely crushed it. We're on the Crush It call, right? Thank you for crushing it and making a difference in the lives of my agents. And so just doing that authentic stuff, guess what happens next time? They go, who do we need on a panel for this? Hey, Patrick's cool. Right. And then I get on these panels and then next thing you know, I get opportunities to buy market centers. So it's doing these things and networking and being authentic that causes people to want to reinvest back in you. And that's no different than your database, right?
Right. Very true.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
So this is where I look at family reunion and doing it in a intentional way, not just to get the knowledge, but gosh, you sit in these sessions, you're like, wow, that was so cool. This person totally changed the way I thought about that. But take it a step further, send them a note card, send them a Facebook message, and just appreciate them for making that impact on you. You never know where it will go.
Yeah, absolutely. I've a small example of what doing something very similar from my first couple family reunions, and I joined right about the same time you did. I remember reaching out and meeting Gary Gentry, the very first agent that Gary Keller hired into Keller Williams. He's still with the company today.
Yep.
I reached out to him and I did a follow-up and kept in touch with him. I have gotten several, and while I was an agent, I got several referrals from Gary Gentry. When he had someone coming to Connecticut, he called me. I'm like, I was dumbfounded initially.
Well, yeah. So like I could tell you so many agents that they said, I'm too busy. I don't have the time. I don't want to spend the money. And I give them a strategy and they go to family reunion, they fully take advantage of it and they leave with 2 or 3 referrals. So family reunion has paid for itself more times over, right?
Absolutely.
Mike Mendoza used to get 40 referrals a year, closed deal referrals per year by attending family reunion.
Wow.
So anybody that's not doing 40 deals a year, there's a lesson to be learned from Mike Mendoza, who is in this book.
Yes.
Right. And he'll point out which page he's on too.
So guys, we've been talking so much about all the classes and the sessions and the trainings that are going to be at family reunion, but Patrick's telling us about a whole nother element, a whole nother realm of attending family reunion, whether it's in person or virtually. Network. There's an opportunity there. Be authentic and reach out and thank these presenters and just ask them questions.
Yep.
It's going to open up opportunity.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing. That's kind of, I'm big on networking. I'm big on choosing my circle and choosing who I surround myself with. You are the sum total of the people you hang with, right? I just remember sitting in a session and I want to say it was Ken Blanchard, right? And he said, he was talking to Tony Robbins and he said, gosh, I'm making $1 million a year. I can't see. And I'm throwing out dollars. And so that's not the point of this, but he said, I'm making $1 million a year and I have a goal to make $5 million a year. And I just can't quite break through that. And Tony Robbins says, what's the average income of the people you hang with? $1 million. Huh. Okay. You need to go hang out with people that are making $10 to $20 million per year. He did that. And next thing you know, he made $5 million a year later. Right. So you are the sum total of people you hang with. That applies for finances. It applies for wealth creation, successful marriages, all that stuff, health, wellness, spirituality. Like choose the people that you're hanging out with to drive you to that next level.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm blessed and lucky to be hanging with this guy once a week. Once a week makes my week.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't wake up at 4:30 so I could be, all hopped up on coffee at 6 a.m. on the West Coast for anybody, right?
Right. I appreciate that very, very much. Very, very much. But you've been great, Patrick. I mean, you're pouring into all these agents that came on because they were very anxious to hear from you. And I tell you, I think we're over 200 that are attending family reunion.
That's incredible. That's a testament to you as a leader and a testament to the team that you have and a testament to the people you're in business with, that they would take that time and invest in their future that way. I mean, you just think about it. If you went to family reunion, we would spend $2,500.
Totally.
Your registration, your airfare, your hotel, your meals, and depending on how late you stayed out, maybe a little bit more, right?
Right.
And now it's $120.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
And you still have the same opportunity. You just have to be a little bit more intentional about how you go after it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Patrick, to wrap up too, we're not done with registrations to family reunion, right? We could still register. Everyone should be thinking about a co-broke that they can invite, right?
Well, how we started this thing off was somebody invited me to Keller Williams. And so here's the thing that I would just put this out here to think about. A lot of times when we do that kind of stuff, we think, gosh, I don't want to recruit somebody, right? I don't want to be that person. And you look at just my story in particular, if somebody hadn't invited me, my world would look very different.
Totally.
Right? It may look great, but it would look very different. So somebody inviting me changed the trajectory of my career and my life.
Yeah.
Right. So don't look at this as I'm recruiting somebody. Look at it as I'm opening somebody up to a possibility. come check it out. If it's a fit for them, then great. If it adds value and it's just for family reunion, great. If it changes the trajectory of their world, that's really stinking cool.
Totally. Totally.
Right?
So guys, you're not recruiting, right? We always have that conversation. I can do that. You guys don't recruit. You're coming from contribution. So just
Yeah.
pour into the people that you like.
Who did you do a deal with in 2020 during a global pandemic that you absolutely loved and want to invite? Like, just don't make the decision for them. Let them make the decision for them.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, again, Rick, I think Rick just posted in the chat box. Get to us today with who you'd like to invite. Simply tell us who they are, and myself or Dan will reach out to them and confirm the registration and the invitation. It's really simple. So there's still time.
So do you guys do this every day?
Yes, sir. 9 o'clock every day.
And you have 100 people on here?
101 right now.
You guys are insane. This is awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here, for getting up early. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're the best. You're the best.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks to Patrick. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.